It's like it was yesterday. I was praying for a miracle, scared to have a little hope. And now looking back today, seeing all the things you've done, I can't even add them up. 1, 2, 3, up to infinity. I'd run out of numbers before I could thank you for everything. And God, I'm still counting my blessings, all that you've done in my life. The more that I look in the details, the more of your goodness I'll find. Father, on this side of heaven, I know that I'll run out of time, but I will keep counting my blessings, knowing I can't count them high. And I know the seasons never last forever, so God, I will remember all of the reasons my heart is to be grateful, all the times you've been faithful to me. And God, I'm still counting my blessings, all that you've done in my life. The more that I look in the details, the more of your goodness I'll find. Father, on this side of heaven, I know that I'll run out of time, but I will keep counting my blessings, knowing I can't count that high. Oh, I can't count that high. Two, three, up to infinity. I'd run out of numbers before I could thank you for everything. And God, I'm still counting my blessings, all that you've done in my life. The more that I look in the details, the more of your goodness I'll find. And Father, on this side of heaven, I know that I'll run out of time. Oh, but I will keep counting my blessings, knowing I can't count that high. I will keep counting my blessings, knowing I can't count that high.
Well, welcome in, guys. Me and Travis actually met up about a week ago, and so we actually went through a list of different topics we could talk about for the Christmas season. And so specifically, we are going to be talking about how to not come unraveled this Christmas. Not sure if it's going to let me click or not. Yes, now, okay. There it is. It's good now. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to not come unraveled this Christmas. This will be part one, and Travis is going to pick it up and carry it on throughout the rest of December. So specifically today, I will be talking about don't overcrowd your schedule. So I've got a list of things that we'll go through. So we will start. It is on now, maybe. Okay, so some questions to start off with. So obviously time is ticking. You know, the hourglass is always burning through the sand, as you guys know. So some questions for you guys. What fills our schedule at Christmas time? What steals our peace at Christmas time? What makes Christmas not as enjoyable as it is made out to be? Of course, we've all went through childhood and maybe had the most magical Christmas experiences and putting cookies out at the night before Christmas and opening presents Christmas morning and stuff. But somewhere along the lines, maybe Christmas wasn't as enjoyable as it was all built to be. So to look at some of those, so the first thing, I kind of pulled a list together of things that I thought make Christmas kind of hard for just all of us, is buying gifts. And with that comes the questions, what do I buy? Well, people make their minds up in time for me to know what I should buy for them, because that can always be a challenge. It's like pulling teeth sometimes to know what people in your life want you to buy for them. Will I be able to afford the items? Shopping in person can be extremely stressful. There's always long lines. You're forced to be social. Maybe you don't like to be social. The long lines to check out of places, and even if you procrastinate like I do normally, will the store have what I need in stock? You know, like December 23rd or whatever, after everybody's picked everything over, will the store have everything I need? The next one is going to be traveling home to celebrate Christmas. Does anybody travel to their family somewhere else to celebrate Christmas at all? Okay, so we got a couple. So, of course, this comes with the questions, what's traffic going to be like? It's probably going to be crazy. Will the weather be favorable for us to drive to our house, our family's house for Christmas? Or like back in, I think it was 2021, we got like 8 inches of snow or so at Christmas, and then it was like -8. So we had all the snow, and it was miserably cold out. And lastly, maybe even, will my car be able to make it if you're traveling over a couple hours, or so to families? So there's all these questions, and then we even have the question maybe your family's all gone home, or you don't know who you're going to celebrate with. So who will I celebrate Christmas with this year? Maybe you're single or divorced or even widowed, or a relationship ended. Who will I celebrate Christmas with? So that can lead to very strong feelings of isolation and just this fear of, I'm not going to have anybody just to share Christmas with. And that is one that I'm sure can keep us up late at night. And then maybe even you're cooking the Christmas dinner. And of course, the expectations for the Christmas dinner are always very high. And will the turkey turn out okay? The Christmas ham and all of the other things that come along with Christmas dinner, and even the desserts. And for me personally, the Christmas cookies, will those turn out? I could say my mom, she makes these cookies that have a Snicker in the middle of them, and then she covers them in like a chocolate drizzle and then powdered sugar, and they're the best cookies. So anyways, will all the food turn out for Christmas? Going on, maybe you're the one hosting Christmas. Is every nook and cranny of the house clean so that when our guests show up, they're pleased and not disgusted with our living quarters? Will we have enough food for everybody to eat? A place for everyone to sit. I mean, there's so many variables that we put in front of ourselves to obtain this perfect Christmas. And, we go on this chase to make sure we meet everybody's expectations. So in a nutshell, we have our fantasy of, Santa and the big fluffy guy that comes down the chimney. I guess this slide didn't come out how I'd put it originally, but so it should be our fantasy over Santa versus our reality, which is just, as you know or maybe not know, baby Jesus being born into this world. And of course we have the questions, will this year's Christmas meet my expectations? Will it meet the expectations of those around me? Did I do enough? Did I beat all of the deadlines that I set out to do? And if not, I'll feel discouraged, depressed, annoyed, antisocial, or even probably the worst, like I'm not enough. Nobody wants to wake up Christmas morning feeling like I'm not enough this Christmas morning. So, flipping over, now that we've examined the secular world with all of the unrealistic, fantasy-like, childlike expectations, let's flip over to the biblical side and see what Paul has to say in the book of Ephesians. So, if you guys have your Bibles, you can turn to Ephesians 5, verses 15 and 16. And while you guys may be flipping there, I'll give you a little bit of background info. So, Travis gave me this big old book that is for nerds and word nerds and everything, but basically it talked about Ephesians and a couple of the other books around there. And so this book is written by Robert E. Piccarelli, and it's called New Testament Commentary. And he gave it to me to better understand just Ephesians in whole, because it literally breaks everything down verse by verse and stuff. But anyways, for a little bit of background and for info, so Robert E. Piccarelli writes, many writers have compared Ephesians in the New Testament to Joshua in the Old. After the later books of the Pentateuch, which means 5 books, tell of Israel's wanderings, Joshua relates their taking of the promised land, which comes from Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. Just so Ephesians describes the spiritual possessions of those who have entered the Canaan of the soul by faith in Jesus Christ. When I open this marvelous letter, and he's talking about Ephesians now, I feel as though someone has opened a treasure room and said, all this is yours. And you guys can read through more of it if you want, because I'm really just kind of try to do what Travis does and really just hit the main verse, so that way that's what sticks. So anyways, getting on with Ephesians 5, 15 and 16. So it says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. So Paul, he says, look carefully then at how you walk. Walk in a wise manner, make the best use of the time. And you guys may be wondering, how exactly does this relate to what I'm going to talk about today and not overcrowding your schedule? Well, this wisdom that Paul speaks of in verses 15 to 16 isn't only reserved for our daily routines, but also extends into our holiday planning. So, with that being said, I know it is easy to get swept into chasing, like we said, the perfect Christmas, but like Paul says, it's wiser to pause and reflect on what we are truly running towards. And you may find yourself even find yourself saying things like, there's not enough hours in the day, I can't be everywhere at once, how will I get everything done in time? Or even asking more of a realistic you've stepped back a little bit, am I chasing after the perfect Christmas at the expense of my own peace? Reality check. Let's hit the brakes. Ask yourself, what am I running towards in this Christmas season? What are my goals for this Christmas season? And what am I going to do to obtain those goals, but also not run myself ragged to obtain those goals? So maybe you do know, but life happens and keeps on happening, and you've lost sight of it, and you need reminded this morning, or maybe you don't know the true meaning of Christmas. Well, in Luke 2, it talks about the physical birth of Jesus Christ, which at one point in kindergarten, so I started off at Mansfield Christian, little side note for you guys, and in kindergarten, we actually had to memorize Luke chapter 2, and I don't know if Zach would remember this or not, because we kind of grew up at the same church together, but my parents actually made me stand in front of the church at like Christmas Eve or whatever, and had a spotlight on me as a kindergartner, and I had to recite all of Luke chapter 2. I can't do that today, so don't be disappointed, but anyways, Luke 2 verse 7, it's kind of like going to tell you guys what happens, and it says, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. So that is the whole reason that we celebrate Christmas, is because Mary and Joseph, had baby Jesus in the manger. So, with that being said, this is the reason for the Christmas season, so let Jesus be the reason for the season. So this Christmas season, to avoid the trap of having an overcrowded schedule, you need to identify what your priorities are for this time of year. Identify the non-negotiables of your Christmas. So, to identify the non-negotiables, this might be attending the candlelight service that we will be hosting here on December 22nd. Maybe it's reading the nativity scene with your family. Of course, also, it might be reading the night before Christmas with maybe your kids on Christmas Eve. It's just another fun little tradition. Or maybe even making sure to spend quality time with family. Once you have your non-negotiables in place, it will be easier to say no to the less essential things that compete for our time. Next, consider the traditions that you uphold that you want to uphold this year, and ask yourself, do the traditions that I will uphold bring joy and peace into my life for this Christmas season this year? Of course, every family has their traditions. Oftentimes, traditions are our favorite memories from year to year. They are normally what we look forward to the most. However, they can be physically and even mentally exhausting to some to continue on with. So we have to ask ourselves, do the traditions we uphold bring joy and bring us closer to God, or are they just another box that we have to check off? And when you answer, if certain traditions no longer help bring you closer to God, maybe it's time to let go of them this Christmas. As hard as that can be, and maybe it's time to let Jesus be more the forefront of your Christmas celebration versus checking off 100 boxes. Next, be fair with the expectations that you set for yourself this Christmas season, and even for your family. The pressure we put on ourselves can be immense. We tend to always want the best decorations, the perfect meal, and to buy the best gifts for everybody. Instead, consider the true cost of these things and even the peace lost while running yourself ragged to achieve these lofty expectations. As I mentioned earlier, Jesus is the reason for the season, so let him be just that. If anything or anyone holds a higher place on your priority list, it's time to take a step back and do some honest self-reflecting. This Christmas, challenge yourself to be intentional with your time and to simplify your approach to the holidays. What does it take to have an intentional Christmas? Like I said, Ephesians 5 verses 15 to 16 lays it out for us. And so I put this thing here. Travis is always talking about making things memorable and portable for you guys to take home. So I tried to do this with what Paul says, and we'll get there in a second. But again, Paul says in Ephesians 5, 15 to 16, walk wise and make the best use of your time, and to remember that the days are evil. So what is Christmas about? It's about making Jesus significant above all else, above anything and everyone else. It's about lifting his name up and helping others to feel significant versus our own success rate in facing against Father Time and an overflowing schedule. This Christmas, seek more time to reflect on our newborn King's birth, celebrate the real reason for the season, and to worship in a way that renews your spirit and brings peace to your soul. By allowing Jesus to be significant this season, you will discover that the best presence is his presence. So with that, don't overcrowd your schedule. Just a little, rhyme for you guys. Because time flies, we must walk wise and prioritize. So I think with that being said, you can ask my wife, I am the worst throughout the whole year because I'm running my business and I'm in the Army Guard and coaching high school football, so I have task after task, and it's just always I run around with a chicken with my head cut off. And I think this actually helped me to prioritize just getting this itself ready for you guys this morning, because Sam could be a testament to this, but normally if Travis asked me to preach, I'm working on this Sunday morning. And I wake up and I'm all stressed out about it, and I put my time into it this week, and I guess I took a little bit of time, but it might not have been as long as others, but I woke up feeling at peace this morning because I did make this significant over the other things in my life. And so I'm thankful that Travis gave me the opportunity to be up here and stuff. But just like I said, let's make Jesus the reason for our season and prioritize and sit down with your families, your spouses, your kids, and figure out what you guys want to be significant for your guys' Christmas season this year. And if there's something that feels like you guys are reaching, just make Christmas more simple. And that's what Travis is going to talk about through the rest of the series throughout December, is more of a simple Christmas. So I think that is all I have for you guys. Just let this Christmas be simple, and just embrace the intentional moments and the simple peace that comes with Christmas. And if we think about it, our King came, in a barn lying in a manger, so wrapped in swaddling cloth. So we have this whole build up to have the most beautiful tree and everything, but in all reality, look at the real reason we're celebrating. It's so simple. There's so many more extravagant ways that Jesus probably could have entered the earth, but I think it just is a good role model, for us to realize that Christmas can be simple, and that can be the most beautiful way to celebrate it. So that is all I have for you guys. I guess. Are there any announcements? Okay. We will hit those then for you guys. So the holiday dinner will be Friday, December 6th, which will be this Friday at 6 p.m. Come join us for food, fun, and fellowship. And I think, do we still need help after service? Yeah. Okay. All righty. That is it. Okay, so with that being said, again, just keep Christmas simple this year, and time flies, walk wise, and prioritize. So that is all I have for you guys. So thank you for joining us today, and hopefully you guys have a good week and a good start to your Christmas season. And Zach is motioning that he will pray for us back there. I think he might even take over the Buckeyes after the way we were talking this morning. So, Zach, if you want to go ahead and close us out, you guys will be dismissed.